Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Wow, what a treat. What a treat for all of us. The audience, for me to be sitting front row for a live Sunday edition. Judd's Camp Notes. Of Judd's Camp Notes.
Is this the Church of Football?
I mean, it might as well be. It's 9 o'clock Central Time on a Sunday morning, and I'm sure there are some people here in the YouTube comment section that said, honey, listen, why don't you take the kids down the street, you take the kids and, say hi to our Lord and Savior, whatever it is that you practice, and I will take a seat in the pew inside the Church of Judd. Judd's Camp Notes.
Come on.
Sports Dad sermon. I'm about to give my sermon.
So we're going to dive in. It's kind of 2 days worth of camp notes, but Friday was really, I was out there with you on Friday, and it was so hot and humid. Yesterday was too, and it was basically a walkthrough for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. But we got the Metellus contract, plenty of JJ McCarthy related notes here. A reminder, maybe you are new to Purple Daily. Maybe you're just thirsty for Vikings content at the start of training camp and you stumbled into this show. This is a 365-day-a-year Viking show. Purple Daily, the biggest Vikings podcasting community on the internet. That's the sports dad, Judd. I'm Phil. Our mustache producer, Declan, with the day off here today. But click that subscribe button and the like button, if you could, on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 60,000 subscribers. That's our next sort of benchmark, so you can help us get there. We love and appreciate you guys. Where do you want to start? Judd's Camp Notes. Let's fire this up.
Football.
Well, I would suggest we start with a guy who had a pretty good day on Saturday. Pretty good day of practice, slinging it around the old ball yard, and one JJ McCarthy. It's what the people want. Let's give them what they want.
Let's do it. There is some misinformation floating around social media.
Yeah.
Thor texted us yesterday too.
Yeah.
Like, there's these like kind of fake accounts shocking on the internet that and that Dove Cliveman guy, that sort of fake account putting out, I don't know if it's like old interception videos or saying he's like struggling at camp. So I mean, you can set the record straight here on this episode.
Well, for about a week and a half now, people have been, and some of it's complimentary, but people have been tweeting video of McCarthy from last year. So like it's like this unbelievable catch just shows that JJ is, and it's a practice that we were both at last year. So yeah. So do not believe. In fact, you know what? Do not believe the false prophets when it comes to JJ McCarthy. There are, there's a lot of people who do a very credible job covering this team, but yes, there is a lot of misinformation, and I didn't see the thing that he was struggling, but yeah, Thor said that there were like he was throwing picks left and right and stuff. This is not true. This did not happen. Yeah. Poor Declan.
Banker hours.
Declan works very, very hard, so I'm not gonna crap on Declan for that. But anyway, okay, so let's start with JJ McCarthy's day, and how about we go right to the unofficial stats for training camp, huh? Why don't we just start with the stats? Remember, what I'm doing is I am tracking all 7-on-7 and more importantly 11-on-11 team drills, what the quarterbacks do, and the one that people care about is obviously JJ McCarthy. I track them each day, and then at the end I put them together in a cumulative category. So McCarthy on Saturday in team sessions, 8 of 9. He is now 27 for 33 in 11-on-11 in camp.
That's I know KOC hates that people that you do this because whatever. JJ Watt went on a rant about this. It doesn't mean a lot, but it means something more than if he were 19 for 33 or 16 for 33. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, and plus, I think part of what drives them nuts is if you don't provide any context. Well, like if I was to give you the stats and then end the show, that's like, okay, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. But that's not true. You got context coming. Excuse me for a second here. I have to cough for a second. So
go ahead.
To mute my mic.
Wow. What a professional.
There we go. Okay, so I'm back instead of trying to talk through that. 7-on-7 yesterday. He was 4 of 8. This included a red zone period as well, where things are way more condensed. And you saw this, Phil, on Friday. I think it's fair to say too, because there was a red zone period. It was more like a walkthrough, but there was a red zone period on Friday, and O'Connell was very demonstrative. Like they're trying to get things right down there. So McCarthy still 4 of 8, 7 on 7, 2 separate 7 on 7 periods. Now 13 of 20 in camp in 7 on 7.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to the team stuff, and let's get to the throw of the day 1, the throw of the day 2, because there were 2 beauties. All right. The first one, and this is sort of the setup of this play, is this is not just a very nice pass, but it's also the acumen that a young man at 22 showed on this particular play. So it's team drills. They're in shells. They will not be in pads until Monday. Obviously, no matter what happens, the quarterback can't be hit, but nonetheless, you have to think fast. The defense jumps offside, but the ball's been snapped, or at the snap. So it's what we like to call a free play. It's the Aaron Rodgers special, right? Yeah. Like this is the play that he had for years has said, okay, screw it. I'm just going to go down the field, throw a pass, and we're going to see what happens. A lot of times it went well. So free play. McCarthy does not hesitate. Play keeps going, which in and of itself, with his experience, I like to see. And he finds Jalen Naylor, and this is 1v1. So he finds Jalen Naylor deep down the field.
Post route.
Yep. I would say he airs out a approximately 55-yard pass down the field. Jalen is covered by Byron Murphy Jr., who, just as a quick aside, is having a great camp. Has looked fantastic. It should have been caught. And Murphy broke it up. It's a nice play, so kudos to Byron. But it's the type of play that if it's Jefferson or Jordan Addison, who we'll get to, it's almost certainly caught. But just the awareness to actually take advantage of the play, because keep in mind, it's a no play now. It's not an incompletion, it's nothing, but he took advantage of the play. And then the actual pass itself, I thought it might have been the highlight of the day, even over the play I'm about to tell you about, because of sort of what it took to make that play, and I love that pass.
Yeah, it was, there's some fans because fans wear practice on Saturday.
The scoreboard says, please do not share video practice.
Is that up the whole time?
Yes.
Just please
help us, not our opponents. It says help us, not our opponents.
And of course, the credentialed media inside the ropes, not allowed to. Right. So we, and I wasn't there yesterday, but like you were out there, you have to stop filming as a credentialed media member after like the first 20 minutes or something. Once they get into the team, they're doing 11 on 11.
Yeah.
But there are some fans that, in the name of building followings and, content creation, whatever, are just throwing stuff out there. So I did see a couple different angles of this, and it kind of acted as like all 22 film, because the fans were the pass was thrown toward the end zone where fans are sitting.
Yes.
And I mean, listen, we're breaking down the minutia of an 11 on 11 shorts and shells training camp practice play here, but the awareness of, and it may sound like a basic thing because, of course you watch football for decades and like if someone jumps, it's a free play. But, these are things that McCarthy's trying to ingest the playbook and the speed and the defense. And it would be easy to miss that or to not take a shot down the field. So like, I'm looking for checking of boxes here. Like, do you have football awareness?
Correct.
So for him to know, here we go. Let's throw the ball 50 yards down the field and hit a home run shot. It was right on the money. Mm-hmm. Initially, I saw Seifert put out before he saw the all-22 film that was floating around and said it was a drop by Naylor, and then took a ton of heat from people, came back around and said, all right, it was a great play by Byron Murphy.
It was.
My assessment was great awareness by McCarthy, great on-the-money pass. It was a great route, I thought, too, by Jalen Naylor. Mm-hmm. And it was also a great play by Byron Murphy Jr. to stay with the route on a free play, knock the ball away at the last second. But I think you're right. The Justin Jeffersons and Jordan Addisons probably find a way to tuck that ball quickly or kind of use their body maybe as a shield to keep the defender from coming over the top and knocking
or just
that ball
outfight
there.
the defender for it. Yeah. So and that's the type of ball that, in my opinion, has to be caught on a Sunday. Like that's how you win on Sunday.
Yeah, it's
You don't catch it on Saturday. Oh, okay. Well, it's a practice, but that's a Sunday ball. So and I just saw a comment too asking if McCarthy is 13 for 20 in camp in 7-on-7 red zone. The answer is no. Just to be clear, that was one portion of a drill yesterday. The 13 of 20 though is that drill, and then there was a 7-on-7 that they did it. I think they started at like the offense's 38-yard line. So no, he is not melting down in one specific place. So just to be clear on that. Okay, let's get to throw of the day. It's actually one because it was a completion, and talk about that one. And that one also I saw is available for your viewing some on Twitter and social media. So this
the Vikings and NFL who were rolling cameras got this one. So
yes, they did. But if you notice how they do it from the field and they isolate on McCarthy and then the play, so you can't see formation. So like to your point, the fan, if I'm the Packers or the Bears, I love the fan stuff because now I see what the play is, the design. The Vikings just show you McCarthy from field level unleashing and then the catch being made, but they don't show you the particulars. So anyway, this is on a first down play because we were doing situational stuff, first down, second down. I think we had a little bit of third down sprinkled in, but not much. McCarthy goes deep. I estimated it at, so the ball I believe was at the offense's 40. Okay. So McCarthy drops back to pass, 11 on 11. This is 1 versus 3. So just to be clear, this is the third team defense. A little bit of a different flavor than when Byron Murphy Jr. is on the field. Deep ball to Jordan Addison travels, in my estimation. Originally I thought it was 40 yards. It might have been 35 yards because I thought it was caught at the 10 of the defense. It was caught around the 15. Addison, though, same type of post play, same type of deal. Addison on the run, though, in this case. So he has beaten the defender, catches the ball, and easily walks into the end zone. Now, the thing about this pass was it was a nice pass. And I like how he throws his deep ball. There's a touch there. I think that there might be a tighter spiral than Darnold had, but the actual downfield passing itself, Darnold still had a little bit more oomph. So the one, if you want to nitpick this one, Addison had to slow up a little bit. He still caught the ball. But like if you want this thing to be completely in stride, there could have been a little bit more loft, a little bit more oomph to the pass, but still a nice play and a touchdown play. And I thought it was more of an encouraging sign than anything, again, to sort of, to use your term, Phil, check off the boxes of the evolution of probably what we as media and fans want to see from McCarthy. You might like to see the pass caught a little bit more in stride, but I'm not going to nitpick the fact that he still made a very good play.
How many, just anecdotally, how many times in these team drills or in the 7-on-7s, or hell, even just like the individual drills where he's essentially warming up for the day, how many times or what percentage of his throws aren't tight spirals? Because from my watching two practices,
no,
it's pretty incredible. Because even some of the best quarterbacks in the world throw little ducks once in a while, not like end over end like you or I would throw, but you know, little wobblers, or just not they're not always like pinpoint tight spirals. It's one of the most consistent tight spiral passes I can remember watching in 20 years off and on of training camp.
Yeah, no, it's pretty consistent. I'm trying to think. Unless he's screwing around, yeah, I think everything's like there's a definite touch.
And I think why that's important, you know, when you're playing half your games indoors in a home environment and you're playing another game in Detroit, like it's, you know, it's not as important when you're playing in the closed doors elements, but when you're playing at Lambeau, at Chicago, you're playing outdoors where there's some wind and some conditions, maybe it's cold. You need a quarterback who can cut that ball through those conditions. And feels to me like he throws that type of a pass. It's very noticeable. I'm curious what fans would think going to watch him practice, getting the reps that he's getting now, to watch just the spiral that he throws. Also, could you, and maybe I'm jumping ahead here on Judd's camp notes.
Sure.
Judd's camp notes. You alluded to sort of the like just the layering of the throws, and he's got this fastball, but he's also trying to learn how to take a little off when he needs to. Did you say yesterday in our text thread that Kevin O'Connell spoke about just him and the need to change pace on some of these throws?
Yes. So just for the context of the conversation we're about to have, Albert Breer of SI, we saw him there, Phil, on Wednesday. And he got like a bunch of like notes and stuff. I'm sure he at some point is going to drop a Viking story, but he did like a notebook type of, hey, here's what I learned. And we've been talking about since camp started that, well, heck, I think since the offseason, about McCarthy's fastball, which is a hell of a fastball, Nolan Ryan-esque. And Breer wrote, independent of any of like our discussions, just independently, Breer wrote that they are working with him on sort of knowing when to ease things up a little bit, for lack of a better term, throw like a breaking ball sometimes. And so at O'Connell's press conference yesterday, I asked him about that. I'm like, how do you, because he's got such a cannon, how do you work on that? And especially like on the shorter passes, or like trying to force balls in because you've got so much confidence that you can essentially throw it through a defender, which obviously in the National Football League you can't do, in the Big Ten you can do. And O'Connell gave a very interesting, in-depth answer about this. And, you know, like with most things football, it's not as simple as, well, we tell him to take a little bit off. He talked about the fact that because the college layout is so much different from a field perspective, that there are throws that you can make in college that in the National Football League it's more difficult to make with where the hashes are, right? And so he went into this and talked about this, and I've got a couple of examples of throws yesterday that fit this bill, the good and the bad. But what O'Connell said is this is something that he felt actually really was why Friday's practice, which we all yawned at, was valuable, because it's a walkthrough essentially, but it's also because it's not full speed. McCarthy can actually work on his throws there, because you're not going to drill the ball in on Friday, right? So O'Connell's point was that's a valuable practice, because what he's doing is he's working on the timing of his throws and the nuance, because there's not guys coming at him. The bullets aren't flying. So O'Connell pointed to that with no prompting, that's why Friday helped a lot. Because it just helped with they did do an extensive, as we just discussed before, they did an extensive red zone drill on Friday, which is an easy place to gun the ball in. And there are times in the red zone where you probably have to do that, and there's times you probably shouldn't. But I've got a couple of examples yesterday of this exact scenario. And again, it's the good and the bad, because having a strong arm at times is incredibly helpful. Like you can do things that the normal quarterback, perhaps with an okay arm, can't do. So the first one is sort of the bad of this. Okay. So McCarthy has so much arm strength. There was a short pass on a second down. So I don't want to call it a check down, but it essentially looked like a check down. But anyway, short pass on a second down play to Aaron Jones, and the ball deflected off Jones's hands, and he dropped it. Now, he's a pretty good guy to go as, like, he can catch the ball. So this is not like Aaron Jones can't catch the ball. And the ball deflected off his hands, and there were two things about that struck me. One is the ball might have been thrown a little too hard, but also, and this is where I think McCarthy's going to fight a little bit of a fight, the accuracy of the ball. And there were a couple of these yesterday. The accuracy of the short ball wasn't as good as it should have been. So I think and I did not ask O'Connell about this because it's another thing, but I think you're going to have an issue here to be worked on with not just how hard he throws the ball on short passes, but also replacing some of the heat on the ball with accuracy.
Interesting. Yeah.
But here's the rub. On intermediate passes, I think his accuracy is absolutely fine. So he does not have an accuracy problem.
Yeah.
I think what he has is he's going to have to combine going easier on some of those short passes with the RPMs and how he spins it, and replace that with the ability to actually just put the ball where it needs to be.
This is where the lack of reps in college does show up a little bit, where because some people were mistakenly pointing to his lack of reps in college and saying, because he didn't do this, and this as much, he can't do this, and this. And we're finding that no, actually, as his workload is ramping up, there's a lot of things that if he needed to do them in college, if they didn't have the best offensive line and the best running game, like obviously if you can just beat a team by running the ball down their throats 50 times, that's the safest way to win, and also the most physically taxing for your opponent way to win a football game. So, you know, Michigan's mission wasn't to develop JJ McCarthy into the best possible gunslinging quarterback. He was part of a system that was built to win a college football championship. But because he threw 200 fewer passes in the last couple seasons, maybe 300 fewer passes than some of the other, like Michael Penix and, the Bo Nixes, he didn't have as many reps to work. It's like a pitcher, just to go back to the pitching analogy. Hey, your fastball is money, and that's going to be the heartbeat of your pitching repertoire. We do need that changeup. If you're gonna pitch in the big leagues, like that changeup has to be pretty dialed in too. Well, in college, I didn't have to throw the changeup very often because they were college hitters, and so I think the more and more he works on some of these more intricate throws, the check downs to the running backs or the touch throws over a defender, those are I think reps matter, and frequency of how often you throw that pass gets you more comfortable with it. And that is where to wrap my point, like that is where the lack of some of those attempts probably did hurt him a little bit. If he would have thrown 100 more of those at Michigan in game situations, he'd probably be a little further along in some of those areas. But it doesn't mean that he won't, and it doesn't mean that he won't add that to his bag here in the next few weeks or the next couple of years.
Yep, and I don't think he has an accuracy issue, so that would be a problem. So if every problem that you see can be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all correctable things, especially with a coaching staff that's as efficient as the Viking staff is. So let's go to the last part about this, which is the good part of the strong arm. And this actually did occur. It was not a perfect day, but in the 7-on-7 red zone drills. And honestly, as O'Connell coaches down there and is very intense, all I can think about is the regular season finale in Detroit and the fact the Vikings couldn't complete a pass. I mean, Darnold had a terrible night. We all know that, but O'Connell probably saw a lot more than just Darnold struggling. All I can think of is he's still in Detroit in Ford Field, right? Just gritting his teeth. O'Connell is we're going to get this right. Mm-hmm. Two passes in particular by McCarthy in the red zone, though, that I want to highlight, because I actually, in my Judd's camp notes, put a notation by these two of heater, because the ball came in with such heat. But it's the red zone, so this is a different thing. A pass that Naylor caught, and probably more importantly, a pass that T.J. Hawkinson caught. These were fastballs. These were 100 mile per hour. No one's catching this if you're not type of balls. Mm-hmm. There were incompletions there because, again, the red zone's a very nuanced, difficult place, in my opinion, to work in the passing game. You lose a ton of space. There's not a lot of space here. There's not routes to run that can there's basically your route. You improvise after that, and it's either a completion or not. But here's my prediction on McCarthy in the red zone, at least for the first half of the season. I think he's going to, one is I do think that the Vikings are going to run the ball more there. But as far as the passing game, I think what we're going to see is he is going to throw some touchdown passes. I think Hawkinson's an ideal guy that are going to be just lasers.
Mm-hmm.
I also think there's a good chance he's going to throw a pick six or two, because he's going to throw on a pass to the sideline. It's going to get jumped, and no one, unless McCarthy catches the dude, is going to catch him. But I think there's going to be more good than bad, and I do think, back to your point about his spirals and about his throws and the fact that he has a pretty good handle on that. I do think the passing game, when it's called upon in the deep red, is going to be more efficient than it was with Sam.
Okay. Yeah, I agree on the interceptions are going to be, I said this on, I think it was our Friday show, that he's going to have like 9 interceptions that are, he throws a fastball into a tight window, and maybe it's the right throw, and maybe other quarterbacks wouldn't attempt it, and it'll be too hot to handle for a receiver. It'll pop up in the air, and the safety will pick it off. Like we're probably gonna have to live with some of that.
How about the pass to the sideline, to the like it's second and goal from the 6th, okay, from the 6th, excuse me, and he throws a pass to the sideline, and the cornerback's at the pylon. That's the type of pick I see.
And it rattles around, and the cornerback,
or it's just a laser, and he thinks he can fit it to a space, right, and the corner picks it off, and now he's off to the races. But anyway, yeah. I also like the fact that he can zing the ball in there. In that situation, I don't have a problem with that. And I also think more often than not, if the pass is where it should be, it's going to need to be caught. It might break your finger, but that's worth 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's going to be some growing pains, and I think we've kind of hit on all the different areas that, like, don't be shocked if some of this turns into some learning.
Far more
stuff.
Good than bad again.
No.
Football.
Yeah.
So 3 days. There's been 4 days of practice. The team is off today, but 3 days of digestible JJ McCarthy information in Judd's camp notes. A lot more good than bad.
Yeah. Let's do a few more minutes here, and we can. There's plenty more where this came from that can spill over into Monday's show too, because they're off today, so we can take. There's some probably secondary stuff that for this audience is going to be primary interest stuff. Like, I saw one question, and we can clarify stuff like this. Sure. Maybe 20 minutes ago. I can't find it to pop it up on the screen, but there was a question about, is Donovan Jackson running with the ones? Yeah, he is the starting left guard with the first team offense.
Yeah, there's no competition there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and Blake Brandel is filling it. Blake Brandel right now is playing right guard in place of Will Fries as the top swing guy.
So Will Fries and Darisaw continue to be out there in individual drills, doing a certain amount of work, not a ton of work. Now, O'Connell did say last Tuesday at his training camp opening press conference that Fries is going to be activated soon. Now, does that mean on Monday? I'm not sure. But I would guess that Fries at some point in time, and they're about to go into, I think, a few padded practices in like the next 6 days or so. Mm-hmm. But I would expect to see Fries back in full team practice here soon. Darisaw is, in my opinion, a total wait and see. Like, it's encouraging he's out there, but I'll just continue to hammer the fact I don't think they're going to rush a potential Pro Bowl left tackle.
Yeah.
And have a setback there. So, yes, that is the... Donovan Jackson would have to do something very bad to lose his starting job.
Yeah, and he looks crisp. Like, he looks, he's huge. He's athletic.
Yep.
Let's definitely do a couple minutes on the Josh Metellus new contract here, real quick. A reminder, and we will have more information about this probably like the first official week in August. But we at Score North and Purple Daily are going to be back at the Minnesota State Fair for the first time in like 5 or 6 years. No, we've done like a Saturday show, but we have our own Score North podcast stage that we'll get you the exact directions. But basically, as you're looking at the grandstand, it's like right on the left edge of the grandstand, kind of a block out across from Sweet Martha's Cookies. And so every single weekday at the Minnesota State Fair, starting Thursday, August 21st, Purple Daily will be live at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time with other Score North shows at noon and 2 p.m. So we'd love to see as many of you as possible. Come on out. There'll be some seating area too, a lot of standing room, and the O-line committee will be out there. The first ever live O-line committee show on Monday, August 25th. So mark your calendars. Minnesota State Fair starting August 21st. We'll do essentially 7 weekdays, Thursday, Friday, and then the Monday through Friday the following week. So looking forward to it. You're muted, by the way, Sports Dad.
Oh, boy. Sorry about that. Merch as well, correct?
Merch. We got merch. Judd's Camp notebooks.
Yep.
With Judd's little cartoon face.
Silhouette. It's a silhouette, baby.
Yep.
And I've heard there's Judd on a stick as well.
Yeah, there's Judd on a stick. There's Judd on a notebook. There's definitely Judd on one of our T-shirts. Maybe 2 of our I feel like there might be a Sports Dad concept there too.
We've got some good T-shirts.
So all that, and then you can at any time you can get your hands on merch at scorenorth.com/shop. Scorenorth.com/shop. So Josh Metellus got the bag. Judd's Camp Notes.
Come on. Football.
Yeah, so he didn't. He practiced on Wednesday. Said that he was not going to conduct a hold-in because he has been a team captain and all that was great. And then come Thursday, he all of a sudden didn't practice because of an ankle problem that we all questioned. And so yesterday, as he started his press conference, Kevin O'Connell announced that, yes, indeed, Josh Metellus, a 3-year contract. Now, the particulars are this from the insiders, Schefter, Pelissero, etc. 3 years, $36 million extension, carries a max value, and I say that because it's hard to get that ordinarily, of $42 million. And then the most important thing is it includes $25 million in guarantees. What does this mean? It means something very simple. Josh Metellus was not lying when he said he wanted to stay here because I forget the exact figure. I looked this up yesterday, but Cam Bynum, for instance, more in guarantees from the Colts. He could have easily, if Metellus had wanted, he could have played his contract out, taken himself to market in March, and I'm willing to bet, I mean, 25, no one's scoffing at $25 million. But that being said, he definitely put a priority on being here. I think in addition to, his family loves the state and all of that, I think part of the reason is this too, though. He is used so well here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So now this is all dependent sort of on Flores staying. Like I don't know. Like if Brian Flores leaves for a head coaching job, okay, and Durante Jones, who is one of the position coaches on defense, steps up to replace him. Yeah, he'll do some of the same things. But let's call a spade here. I mean, Brian Flores is he is a Bobby Fischer-esque defensive coordinator.
Wow,
like
the chess reference.
Well, he's always introducing new things, and Metellus is a very smart player, and he does this really well. So I would say it's 2 things. One, he honestly does like it here. Don't forget, too, that, Josh Metellus was drafted in 2020 as a 6th-round pick. He was re-signed here. But if you go back to Judd's camp notes from the mini camp or the OTAs in 2022, Kevin O'Connell's first year, I put you on 2 things. One is Johnny Munt is going to see time. And y'all laughed at me. And guess what? Johnny Munt got a pretty good contract in Jacksonville. But anyway, the second one I put you on was Josh Metellus is being used in a lot of different ways, and he's out there a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think it is, in essence, a perfect marriage. And the nice thing is that the Vikings here, if you're a Vikings fan, I think got a probably very favorable Rob Brzezinski contract.
Yeah, it winds up putting him, in terms of average annual value, it's a little more than half of what the top safeties are earning, like $21 million is the top of the market per year, and he's at $12 million a year. So it puts him outside the top 10 highest paid safeties. And I say safeties, he's not really, he's a safety, but not really. He's such a Swiss Army knife for this defensive system, which has made his career because, they dabbled in the Josh Metellus business, special teams for a few years. And then that going back to the Mike Zimmer defenses even. He was special teams guy 2020-21. The Ed Donatel defense in 2022, where Judd's camp notes sort of flagged him as a player to watch. And he played 261 snaps on defense, but they weren't using him to rush the passer. They weren't using him in the utility way that Brian Flores is. And then all of a sudden, Brian Flores gets here and says, that's a 1,000 snap guy.
I misspoke. 2023 is when
okay.
I flagged that. So in 2022, I flagged Munt, and then Donatel was the DC. In 23, when Flores arrived, is when I said, "Oh, this is odd. Josh Metellus is doing a lot of different things."
Yeah. So he is so, in so many ways, this system and Brian Flores and all the work that Metellus put in. I'm not trying to like take it away from Metellus, but like that system made his career, like it opened up a position for him to just be this incredible, versatile defensive player. But I do wonder if the market would look at him as a $15 to $20 million player outside of that construct. So I think he made the right, first of all, like it's never a bad decision to get paid $25 million guaranteed and $12 million a year on a second contract, technically a third contract, when you were a 6th round pick. Like this is life-changing money, and he gets to play in a system for the next 2 or 3 years, assuming that Flores doesn't get a head coaching job, that he is comfortable in and that he's a perfect fit for. So it feels like a win from all sides, even if maybe he could have milked it in free agency for a couple $1 million more per year.
Yeah, so he was, I think he was probably debating a couple things there. One, he was scheduled to make, and he will make approximately $3.7 million this season on the last year of that contract, which turned out to be a bargain, right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't sign this contract now and lock into your guarantees and you get hurt, like, as weird as this might sound, if we're talking about life-changing money for your family, like your entire, like your relatives and stuff, 3.7 mil a year probably is going to take you a ways, but it's not like lifelong changing money. Yeah. And I guess on the other side, the only thing that he could have done was he could have tried to could have played the contract out, seen if Flores got a head coaching job and then took him because but anyway, I'm with you. Wise move. And so that's done. So the training camp contract drama is completely done. Oh, and O'Connell said, when O'Connell got done with his opening statement on Josh, I said, "So is he practicing?" Because he had this ankle injury that came up, and O'Connell said, "I know some of you were laughing at us, but it was real, and he's going to probably come back to practice on Monday." So he did not take part in practice on Saturday.
So the ankle thing was real?
That's what O'Connell said, and they didn't practice him yesterday. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I just thought it was funny that, he's like, "Oh, no, a lot of you were laughing, or a few of you were looking sideways at us." It's like, yeah, we were.
Well, I mean, it's a game that gets played across the entire. Who is Terry McLaurin is going through a contract thing in Washington right now, and I saw this morning that they're going to put him on PUP. It looks like because he's got like an ankle or a foot thing, but I think it's.
He was holding out.
But he is and it's the ear infection thing with TJ Hawkinson. And the minute that I saw Metellus, I'm sure there's maybe a little ankle soreness or whatever, but the minute that I saw, he's sitting out with an ankle, I thought, they're probably close on a contract.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're close enough where you wouldn't want to do something before the pen hits paper. Just sit out a day or two.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Get this thing cleared up. So.
And who knows? It could be that. So on Friday before practice, but before the walkthrough started, we should mention this. O'Connell, to his credit, and the team, to their credit, got ahead of the Justin Jefferson news. So if you recall Judd's camp notes on Thursday, I said that Justin had told us that he came out of practice because he had tightness in his legs, plural, in his legs. Mm-hmm. And at the time, he was like, "It's fine, it's no big deal, just being cautious." Well, O'Connell held a brief media session on Friday to say that it is a mild left hamstring strain, that there are no concerns about the September 8th opener in Chicago, which is a ways off here, but that Jefferson is going to be reevaluated next week. They won't know a thing till next week, and so I ran Phil Mackey to my Substack and wrote, I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't practice him again till week 1.
Yeah,
like there's no reason to risk this. And keep in mind too. So here's your real conundrum. If Justin Jefferson, who it's the other leg, so this is his left leg, the one that caused him to miss the hamstring 7 games a couple years ago that he suffered against Kansas City, was his right leg. But nonetheless, he's the type of, if you're predisposed to hamstring problems, rushing him makes no sense. And the other issue is this. I still think, and I wouldn't be surprised, total guess on my part, if this Friday afternoon, late in the afternoon, my good man, there's a news dump. Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games. They always news dump that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you screw around with Jefferson and he tweaks it again, and by the way, it's mild right now, and we all know mild can turn into much more than that.
Yeah.
And now you've lost Jordan Addison for the first 3 games. Jalen Naylor is your first receiver. You probably got to go out and sign a guy. So
Rondale
anyway,
Moore and Ty Felton. Come on down.
We'll get to Rondale had a tough day. And I don't mean playing wise. He played fine, but there was an incident. But anyway, so I think you need to be as cautious, and you probably would be regardless as possible. But if you want to do a buzzkill on JJ McCarthy's opening night against his childhood team, the Bears, you take out those 2 guys. So
Yeah.
I'm all for Jefferson. And I know it's a chemistry thing, and they've worked before, but I'm all for Jefferson being 100% sure that thing is fine and good to go.
Yep. Yeah, the chemistry stuff. It is what it is, though. Like the most important thing at this point is making sure he's 100% for week 1, and you can build more chemistry. They're also working out together at like Woodbury High School.
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't been working
and
out
Jefferson
together.
showed up
OTAs,
for
mini
all.
camps.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. So like, there's a lot, and no matter what chemistry would be built, and it certainly would help. It's not worth anything that would slow. Like, you don't want. It's not just that you don't want him to strain it fully, which would be awful, but you don't want him to have any type of hitch.
Yeah.
Like anything that slows him down. So get it right. He's going to work his ass off. He is not a concern. But it's easy to go from, well, the Vikings have 2 of the best receivers in the league, to what happened to that.
Yep.
Be careful.
Amen. Yep. I think there's other things like Rondale Moore. I know going back to Friday, there's definitely some Jordan Mason. I had a chance to actually ask Wes Phillips a couple questions about Jordan Mason passing game. I think let's park some of this stuff for Monday. Some B-side stuff that we can talk about on Monday.
In fairness, since I teased it though, the Rondale Moore thing was he's going down the right sideline for a pass. Now again, they're not supposed to be like, this is not a tackle to the ground. This is not a full pads practice. And I think it was a Sam Howell pass, and he goes for the ball, and the safety and cornerback converge on him at the same time, and there was a collision. Ooh. And he went back to the sideline and was not happy, and then took a knee for the rest of practice. I don't know if it was something with, I don't think it was his knee. The athletic trainers came and talked to him. I think he's okay, but just keep an eye on his practice status for Monday, because I've dismissed things before and been wrong to dismiss them. But it looked like there might have been head contact potentially, something that you probably want to avoid if you are a guy coming off a significant injury that ended your 2024 season.
Yeah, if I'm a guy that in college and the NFL has had some bad injury luck, and this is kind of my last chance to be an impactful NFL player in a shorts and shells non-padded practice, just please stay away from me.
Right, exactly.
I'm trying to make this team. I'm trying to make a living, family, whatever.
That's how he looked. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we doing here? Yeah, I don't fault him for that at all. Judd's Camp Notes. Good stuff. Good stuff here.
Wow.
Yeah, and we can, I think, we've given so many McCarthy updates last video, and we will be on McCarthy Watch. Judd's tracking stats. So consider this not only your home Purple Daily for Judd's Camp Notes, but for basically daily JJ McCarthy updates as well, because it's fun to watch this new young potential franchise quarterback look to figure things out here. But yeah, plenty more on, I guess, sort of the B-side page of Judd's Camp Notes for tomorrow that we can dive into. And then in the afternoon, it'll be a full padded practice. Both of us are going to be out there, and we'll have plenty more. So Tuesday, Purple Daily, we're going to have Judd's Camp Notes, and then a bonus episode with Warren Sharp, the football analytics and scouting guru, is going to be on the show, giving his perspective. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Nice.
And thanks to you guys who clicked the like button, the subscribe button here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel as we try to get our way to 60,000 subscribers. Okay, go ice up Judd's Camp Notes. Enjoy an off day
the
here.
bucket hat has helped tremendously. Look, I'm not all burned.
Yeah, it's good. The fair skin is holding up a few days into camp.
Go bucket hats.
So Judd's Camp Notes going to kick his feet up, maybe watch some film and just kind of study see where he can be better as a note taker, and then full padded practice tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday, everyone. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Purple Daily.